Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering Bud Light. Bud Light is exposed. Viral videos prove people will ignore Bud Light on July 4th, even if the beer is free. Free is usually the price where people would say, okay, I will buy that if it's not going to cost me any money. But not in the case of Bud Light. Why is that? It's because Bud Light has now become a status symbol. If you have a Lamborghini, if you have a Ferrari, if you have $1 billion, it says something about you. It actually says something about you that's socially positive. But nowadays, if you have a Bud Light in your hand and you're seen drinking it publicly, it's another kind of status symbol. It's a negative status symbol. It's a status symbol that if you're a woman, people start to question, were you born a biological female? Or if you're a man, people start to wonder, how much of a man are you really if you're going to be drinking Bud Light in public? Viral videos prove people are not willing to be associated with the brand of Bud Light. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. I'm trying to get to 50,000 subscribers, so if you can subscribe, please do subscribe. Coming from the New York Post, videos of unsold Bud Light go viral in wake of Dylan Mulvaney's fiasco. It's called garbage beer. Social media users posted videos of unsold cases of Bud Light over the 4th of July weekend as beer drinkers continue to shun the brand over its marketing partnership with transgender social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney. TikTok user Phil Hawkins wandered into a local retailer and recorded a video showing 12 packs and 24 packs of Bud Light languishing on shelves and in the aisles despite tremendous rebates available on any of this beer, making it practically free. Bud Light is not selling. This is garbage beer, he said. Check it out. Even with a coupon, nobody wants this. Anheuser-Busch offered holiday rate rebates totaling $15 for its products, making them free in some parts of the country. You can't get much cheaper than free. Free is about as low as the price can go. I don't criticize the Bud Light people for making their beer free. They are absolutely desperate to keep beer moving through their supply chain. This is why recently you heard 600 employees, actually 645 to be specific, are being fired from a glass bottle manufacturer that used to make bottles for Bud Light located in North Carolina and in Louisiana. Why are they being let go? Because they absolutely know there is zero chance within the next year or even 2 years of being able to get reasonable orders from Anheuser-Busch again to sell their Bud Light beer because the market is gone. People will not take this beer. Making the beer free does help move the beer. It does help keep the system going so that maybe in the future, some of the people who have decided they will not buy Bud Light or will not even accept Bud Light on a free basis, maybe those people will buy it. But the glass manufacturers know it's cheaper to just close the plants down. The product is not coming back. The sales are not coming back. They just had to face reality. The smaller cases of Bud Light were being offered for as little as $2.99, while the larger ones were going for $4.99. Hawkins noted in his video that other brands such as Coors Light, Modelo Especial, and craft beers were indeed selling like crazy, despite costing significantly more. This is his video. Let's check it out. Everywhere you go, you see that this beer is not selling. It's stacked up here, it's stacked up there. What's going to be changing is come September is when all the sales reports are in from the last several months. That's when, according to former president of Anheuser-Busch Distribution, Anson Fredericks, who was there for more than 10 years, they're going to be adjusting all of the shelf space that is set aside for Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch brands. All the beers that have not been selling are no longer going to be taking up all of this space in all of these stores. They will still have some space almost everywhere, but it's not going to be like it was. They're losing a lot of shelf space because the boycotts have absolutely destroyed the Bud Light brand and a lot of the other Anheuser-Busch brands. They're not going to have the chance to ever become a #1 brand ever again. Well, people are choosing Coors and paying more than this dog-s beer with a coupon, Hawkins said in the clip, which was posted this past Wednesday. On Twitter, a video recorded a user purportedly from Salem, Oregon, showing a Walmart store refrigerator fully stocked with Bud Light. When you see beer inside of a store that's in a refrigerator, they are paying at that store a lot of money for that electricity. They are very well aware of what is selling and what is not selling. Whatever is not selling will not be there in just a couple of months. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against Bud Light and whatever their wacky agenda actually is. It's because a retail store, absolutely, survival of the store depends on being able to sell the merchandise that they put on their shelves, particularly in a refrigerated environment where they have to pay electricity to keep it cold. Why are they keeping Bud Light cold if they know they're not going to sell Bud Light? It's because they haven't reset their shelf space yet, but they will. The neighboring shelves appeared empty while Anheuser-Busch brands Bud Light, Budweiser, and Michelob Ultra remain unsold. Quote, here's what Salem, Oregon thinks about Bud Light products, the caption on the tweet read. The videos provide anecdotal evidence that the St. Louis-based brand has been unable to win back its customers, turned off by the social media campaign featuring Dylan Mulvaney. Sales of Bud Light, the nation's top-selling beer, but not in the last few weeks, but yes, still for the year, it's going to be changing soon, I promise you. Plunged 27.9% by revenue and 31.3% by volume. Revenue is dollars. Volume is physical beer cans and beer bottles in the week that ended June 24th, a slight improvement up from the 28.5% revenue drop from the previous week, according to data from Nielsen IQ and Bump Williams Consulting. I will have you know that the volume drop for the week ended June 24th at 31.3% down is actually worse than 31.1% down the week prior. I just spoke to Bump Williams today. He's going to try to get me Bud Light's sales result for the July 4th weekend on a region-by-region basis, because I don't believe, and I'm sure you don't either, that 31.3% down on volume represents the real numbers. If it was 31.3% in reality, glass bottling plants would not be going through the tremendous expense of actually shutting down their manufacturing operations. If you're not familiar with manufacturing, the expense of shutting down manufacturing plants is almost like opening a manufacturing plant. It's incredibly expensive. You only do that if you're absolutely sure the business is never coming back. But if it was dipping, like, oh, it's dipping 31%, maybe in a few months it'll come back to only dipping 15%. You would not be laying people off. You would not be investing all the cash in severance pay and disassembling your manufacturing plant if you had any hope of the plant getting its business back, even half of the business that it lost back. They know it's not coming back, and it's only going to get worse. And it's going to get worse because when the shelf space is adjusted, they are not going to have as many opportunities to sell their beer that they used to have. Sales are going to be down next year, and don't think it's 31.3%. It's at least 50%. And I am going to get you the numbers that prove that, I promise you. The staggering drop in sales since the April 1st promotion with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney led the company to try to lure customers back ahead of the holiday weekend with a tweet showing an image of ice-cold Bud Lights captioned, quote, "It's 4th of July weekend, enjoy some beer." Then Tuesday, its official Twitter account followed that up with an image of a Bud Light drinker having a frosty one on a steamy day sitting next to a fan. Quote, "Never underestimate the power of a makeshift mister. Happy 4th, everyone," the tweet read. However, the attempt at levity was met with a deluge of negative responses, even one from Jordan Peterson knocking them. "My family has always called it Independence Day. This year, I guess it's independence from politically active beer too," one user commented. Another Twitter user wrote, "Enjoy some brands that don't belong to Anheuser-Busch. Make sure the beer you drink from now on does not fall under their market share. Bud Light's continued sales decline has threatened its 2-decade status as the nation's top-selling beer and is spilled over into hurting Anheuser-Busch's other brands. Meanwhile, the second-largest beer brand, Modelo Especial, whose international distribution is controlled by Anheuser-Busch, but whose U.S. business is controlled by Constellation Brands, their competitor, continues to grab market share from Bud Light. We will definitely see by the end of 2023 that Bud Light lost its #1 status and Modelo Especial is #1. We should by next week have the numbers that really show what happened for July 4th purchasing, at least for most of the July 4th holiday. I'm expecting sales, of course, to be down again, and I will do a video specific for that so we see what the actual numbers are and see how far these guys have actually fallen. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you think that even with offering the beer for free, the Bud Light people could not maintain the same volume of bottles and cans going out the door? The revenue, of course, we understand, the revenue won't be the same if they're going to give the beer away for free or if they're going to discount it heavily. But the volume, they can't actually physically give away enough free beer to match what they sold the year prior. It's really pretty incredible. Also, a lot of people in the comments do call Bud Light a garbage beer. That's one of the reasons why I used it as a title, and of course also because it was actually mentioned in the article. Do you think Bud Light is also a garbage beer? Let me know your take on it if you used to drink the beer. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Really appreciate you. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.